Welcome back. Happy Monday, everybody. Hopefully, you're all having a fantastic weekend, and hopefully, it isn't icy rain where you are like it is here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you very much for checking us out here at Prime Sports World. On today's episode of the show, we're going to break down the divisional round in 2023 in the National Football League. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I'm David Huffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins. Gentlemen, happy Monday. How is everybody doing?
Could be better. I bust my ass coming from the gym in this icy rain. And yeah, just
no, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna start every show like that, David. I'm gonna start every show.
Love it, dude. Love it. Welcome. So what's up, TJ? How are you, man? I feel you, man. Let's jump right into it without wasting any time. If you had to describe the divisional round in one word, what is that one word? Panel, go.
I guess.
One word. I would say
some bullshit. That's two words, but
no, I mean, I got two words. I mean,
damn.
Kicking woes. I mean, I guess kicking woes is probably the two words I would.
Yeah. I hate kickers and rookies. But no, I would say damn, because you know what we saw in the Ravens game. Damn, and I hate the curse. I don't want to curse, but damn, Lamar Jackson is that man. Damn, them damn field goal kickers. Pat Mahomes. Damn, like. Josh Allen played well enough to win that game, and it's just like he just still couldn't win it for some reason. It's like he can't play defense too, you know. It's like damn, you know.
He doesn't play. He doesn't make special teams. He's not a play caller. Like,
and what a hell of a game that Detroit Tampa Bay game that went down to the wire. Tampa Bay had a last, they had a shot at the end there, but just couldn't.
Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the divisional round. Let's start first in the AFC. We got the Baltimore Ravens making a statement against the Houston Texans. They win this game 34-10. Lamar Jackson responsible for 4 touchdowns and kind of silence all those quote-unquote haters that he isn't a playoff player. They question what Lamar Jackson, his fortitude as a football player. Lamar Jackson kind of showed them, hey, I'm that guy. 6 incompletions in this game, over 100 yards rushing in this game. Just an absolute clinic by Lamar Jackson. CJ Stroud, 19 of 32 for 175 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown or a pick. Devin Singletary led the team in rushing, and Nico Collins, leading receiver, as they failed to get into the end zone except for that kick return by his name is escaping me, right? Steven Sims. But what are you guys' thoughts on this game? As this game was really the only one of the 3-4 games that wasn't competitive.
It turned into that. Like that first half, it was nip and tuck. It was back and forth. I mean, like offensively, the Texans couldn't get it going. Their only points came off of special teams, right? It was a field goal and it was a punt return. Right? Like offensively, Baltimore, they shut shit down, man. Like CJ. Like they did all this talk about CJ Stroud, like he gonna pick him apart on, like he does real good against this, he does real good against that, and Baltimore was just like, okay, all right, like we'll see. We gonna show you why we number one. We gonna show you why we this, that, and the third. And I don't know what Lamar said to them at halftime. He kind of went into it. He said, I can't say it out here because it's inappropriate. But whatever he said, damn it, it works.
It's Baltimore. The game was tied 10 apiece. But even then, I mean, the Baltimore Ravens defense was so stifling in this game. Houston really struggled to move the football for a majority of the game. I mean, they had a missed kick too. I mean, maybe that changed the tides of the game as well. As Kaimi Fairbairn missed a kick in the second quarter, I want to say. But this offense struggled for most of the game. This Ravens defense is big time.
Yeah, man. You know what? That Raven, like you said, I'm gonna start with that Ravens defense, but you know what? I'm gonna start with Lamar Jackson, man. He had some debilitating runs in that football game. It's like we all know that he can throw from the pocket, and I think that the defensive game plan was to pretty much keep everything in front of them for the Texans, not give up the big plays. And Lamar said, "Oh, you're gonna play man to man? oh, well, I'm just going to kill you. And that's exactly what he did. And they didn't have anybody outside of Christian Harris to really spy on Lamar Jackson. I mean, he made a couple good plays, but once that field was wide open, you saw why he is the MVP. He can kill you in so many ways. He had some back-breaking plays in that second half, TJ, David, that really just took the life out of the Houston Texans. And you could see it when you're a young team like that on the road, and just the MVP just makes some, it makes great MVP-like plays to put the team on his back. It is really debilitating. And then for the Baltimore Ravens defense, I mean, that defense, they play that drop zone. They play man, they play cover 3. It doesn't matter what they play. They just have
they didn't give up
like glue.
They didn't give up an offensive touchdown in this game.
They held them to 100 and they held them to 213 total yards. Total 213. The Ravens ran for 230.
The thing is that Houston kept trying to run it, and you saw me in the chat. They only got 38 yards, and for this notion that, oh, we can run it on the Baltimore Ravens defense, well, yeah, maybe that's true for some teams, but not for the Houston Texans, who have a weaker offensive line, one of the weakest probably the weakest offensive line out of all the playoff teams that played in the divisional round, right?
Well,
and
so
the Buffalo offensive line isn't excellent either, but
I
would take Laramie Tunsil over anyone who plays for the Buffalo Bills on the offensive line.
Not to cut.
But the rest of the offensive line of the Houston Texans just couldn't get a push on the Baltimore Ravens, and it's just
maybe Mitch Morris. Mitch Morris is a player.
I just wish that they would have. Okay, I never say this, abandon the run early, but I wish I just wish they would have just stopped trying to do that. Stop trying to run the football when it wasn't working. I know you got to keep a defense honest, but at the same time, but I just feel like just start airing that bitch out. I mean, I'm sorry to curse, but just start airing it out with CJ Stroud. What do you got to lose?
Especially if you once you got down 27-10, you might as well let's just gunsling this stuff.
But the minute you
let's go 4 verticals down the field, sling it.
But the minute you become one-dimensional, game's over. You gotta run the ball.
The game was over already at that point.
You gotta run the ball. You gotta keep it. We saw it in the Super Bowl, right? The Ravens, the Rams, and the Bengals. Neither team could run the ball particularly well, but they kept doing it because you had to keep the opposing team's defense honest. If I'm coming out shotgun 5 wide receivers, ain't no secret what I'm doing. You already know what I'm gonna do. That means you can account with 6 DBs. And so on and so forth.
I would have preferred they do that, and then hey CJ, you see some greenery, just start running it. You know what I mean? Because CJ can't run the football. He just
that's not really his game. I mean, he's never really.
Yeah, he doesn't want to, but he can take off and get you 10, 15 yards if he wants to, and that opens up the defense a little bit. Okay, now we got to keep some spies underneath, and that opens up the middle of the field against the Baltimore Ravens, but. Man, that defense is all world, man. I thought that they would do a little bit better against that defense since they did well against the Cleveland Browns defense.
Moving on to probably the best game of the entire weekend in there at Levi Stadium there in San Francisco as they come back from behind and beat the Packers as Packers try to upset them. They win 24-21. Jordan Love was really good in this game and then really not good in that last final drive. 21 of 34, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That second pick looked exactly like Brett Favre's pick in that game when he was on the Minnesota Vikings.
What'd you say, David? What'd you say? Tell the world what you said.
I mean, if you're going to compare Jordan Love to Brett Favre, you're going to get those Brett Favre plays. And that was Brett Favre to a T. It was like Brett Favre went into Jordan Love's body and was like, you know what we're about to do? We're about to throw this across your body into double coverage. Let's go. Gunsling it up. Let's go.
I know, man. Dude, when you said that, I was like, I was dying laughing because I was like, man, that was Brett Favre to a T. And I was like, that was not Aaron Rodgers at all. Like, where did he get that from?
Man. And then, Bo Melton, big Bo Melton had a touchdown.
Bo Melton.
Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. On the other side, Brock Purdy, he threw for a touchdown in this game as well. Chris McCaffrey had 2 on the ground, and George Kittle caught the lone receiving touchdown in this game. as this was a back and forth affair, really entertaining in the second half. As this back and forth for the entire game. I had to watch this like sort of on my phone because I was at a rock concert. But yeah, it was really good football.
All right, neighborhood Packer fan going first.
Should I set the timer? Like,
Yeah.
No. You don't gotta set the timer for me. Come on, man. Don't do me like that. I'm not gonna go on a rant.
The guy's hurting.
You know what comes down to it? We could talk about all the plays. Like Brock Purdy, particularly, didn't really play well. Like in this game, I said it. Not having Debo really hurt that offense. Like it didn't. It just kind of. Didn't make him as dynamic. I mean, instead of Debo
left the game in the first quarter with the shoulder
injury. Yeah, instead of Debo, getting those runs, you were giving those plays to like Jennings, who played admirably in this game. He made a big catch in the second half. Yeah, he played well. And so I think it comes down to this: they're 2 for 5 in the red zone.
Yep.
And
that's the difference between the Packer game and this one, right? I mean, you score touchdowns.
The Cowboys game.
Sorry.
That's the difference. When you get in the red zone, you can't settle for field goals, especially against the number 1 seed, especially against a team like the Niners caliber. And even with all of that being said, they still had a chance to win this football game. And it's just like you have to score touchdowns in the red zone. And I feel like Matt LaFleur is going to look at some of those opportunities where he kicked field goals. They got stopped, on the 4th one, which I thought was a bad spot in my opinion.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. And so when you get down to those striking distance zones against a team like the 49ers, which I think the Packers were moving the football a lot better than the 49ers, consistently throughout the game.
The Packers, they didn't punt in this game, right?
Yeah, they did.
I don't think
they punted maybe one time, I believe. So.
Yeah, I mean they had the 49ers just found a defense people talked about struggled in this game. They punted the ball one time, and I thought this game was for sure going to go to the Packers when Nixon had that kick return for 70 yards. He fumbles the ball, and Eric Wilson recovers it. I'm like, man, what kind of luck are you having?
They scored a touchdown on that. That was the touchdown, I think, to Tucker Kraft or.
Yeah.
Well, was it the Tucker Kraft where he?
Because San Francisco scored the touchdown. I think this is in the third quarter. They scored the touchdown, and then they kicked it off. And like I clicked it off, and I was Nixon, like doing something else. Yeah, Nixon. And like all of a sudden, the Packers had the ball at like the 30-yard line. I'm like, what happened? I had to like go back and watch.
They needed that one.
You get a kick return, and like you lucky enough to recover the fumble after. Like it's just like I thought that was.
I'm going to tell you this, David, I'll let TJ go after this. I thought that the Packers were going to put them away when Aaron Jones had that long run to the right side or off the toss play. They were killing them off that toss play to Joey Bosa and Chase Young, where they were pinning down the wide receiver to block those guys, which takes a lot of freaking heart. But yeah, when Aaron Jones ran that ball and got him into like on the 40-yard line, and they were in the striking distance again. This was right before our rookie kicker missed the field goal and gave San Francisco a shot to go down and score a touchdown, and everything else is road. I thought that the Packers were going to put them away on that drive. They were going to score a touchdown, and it was all she wrote, and the Packers defense could just kind of pin their ears back and get to Brock Purdy. But that was not the case. And then the next drive, Brock Purdy made an excellent throw to Brandon Ayuk. He made a hell of a throw to Jennings over to the defenders while he was getting tagged in his chest. So all this notion about Brock Purdy was being a game manager, he made some excellent throws, but also in the rain, Brandon Ayuk made a shoestring catch, and some of these guys made some amazing catches to save Brock Purdy's butt because he was kind of a little wild with it. He should have had 3 picks in this game. To be honest with you, he threw it to the other team.
The one, the Savage, was like that's a walking.
That would have been a pick 6. So he's got to tighten up going against the Detroit team that picked off Baker Mayfield twice. Go ahead, TJ.
This is one of those games where it's like you love the officiating. Like we saw it all, right? Izzy, you saw a face mask that didn't get called.
They didn't get called our way, yeah.
We saw holding on both ends that didn't get called. Like that's the officiating where it's just like, hey, we finna like unless it's like totally 100% like absolutely egregious, we ain't calling nothing. We finna let y'all figure this shit out. We finna let y'all play. Like y'all, like no, y'all is not finna throw my like y'all ain't referees like y'all ain't finna know my name for calling something bad. Avery Thomas, you are a boy. Swear to God, you lucky. You lucky the Niners won this game. You give up a
Romeo Dobbs had a field day on him.
You gave up a 35-yard PI
on
third and 15. We saw this. We saw this the year against when it was San Fran, Minnesota, and Stephon Diggs just feasted on the Kilo Weatherspoon. One drive, he ate.
He caught that ball in fourth and forever, and Stephon Diggs took it to the house, and like Weatherspoon didn't play again.
It was one drive. He ate his lunch and dinner on one drive. Scored, like Dave, you mentioned, scored a touchdown. And coach and said, you know what, bro, this ain't the matchup for you. You gonna sit over here with us for the rest of the game. I didn't see a Kilo Witherspoon the rest of that game. They should have did that with Avery Thomas. I understand.
They just don't have depth at the cornerback position.
I don't care. I don't care. Like, no, a point has to be proved. A point has to be made. You cannot put us in these situations because you had two of them. You had two very costly DPI calls. Now you going up against a Lions team that, hey, now they know like y'all kind of undisciplined. They gonna copy that running formula because they got the running backs, they got the run game.
There's gonna be a lot of shifting going on where you're gonna see Avery Thomas getting moved around, so he's 1-on-1 with Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's gonna be happening a lot in this game.
That is gonna be happening a lot. I don't expect Charvarius Ward. You know what though? I'm sorry, TJ, but you know what though? I think it'll be a lot easier for the Niners to put Charvarius Ward on Amon-Ra St. Brown because against the Packers. He doesn't really know. He didn't really. I don't think they really know. Okay, who's going to be the guy today? We saw a lot of him on. You saw a lot of him like shadowing like Jaden Reed and really on Christian Watson. Really, they were hell bent on like not giving up the big play to Christian Watson. Like they were giving him single high. Like,
I don't mind. You are not beating us over the top. But hey, if I'm Chase Young, damn it, at some point in time. You gotta have some pride, man. You gotta say enough's enough. Y'all is not gonna keep running this same weak ass toss play on my side. They did not like they ran
backing them with a wide receiver.
They ran that like once or twice on Nick Bosa, and like the third time Nick Bosa say, you know what, I'm just gonna knife inside and I'm gonna kill all of that. Chase Young, bro, like, he beat the double team nasty. Chase Young, you gotta be like, hey, bro, enough. They got like, bro, enough's enough. And it was real simple, bro. Like Izzy, me and you play football. We both know, hey, a simple crackdown block. It ain't much. But when done right, it's effective. You ain't got to put.
They ran that shit out the bunch formation. What, like 5 times? And one time it didn't work. 4 of the times he went for multiple, and it's a 50-yarder
to his side. Like, bro, like it's. Like again, it David. Like again, you never play football. A crackdown block, like you ain't gotta put the D in on their ass because you're not gonna do it. First off, you ain't gonna do it. Second, all you gotta do is not at that level. Second, all you really gotta do is just get in the way. That's really what you're just trying to do. Just slow them down a little bit. Chase it, bro. Like when I saw who was it? It wasn't Watson. It was another like was it Reed? I think I saw.
It was Watson.
Watson got it once.
I think not Melton, but Dontavian Wicks.
Him was doing it too. When I saw compared to Chase Young, little Dontavian Wicks impede Chase Young. Like, bro, if you don't run his ass over and go get that tackle.
Also, like, bro, I want to give a shout out, TJ, to Fred freaking Warner. Who put his imprints all over this game. He was amazing in this game. He was the reason why. I think he was like the main reason why the Packers didn't score in the red zone. Like Fred Warner was all world in this game. I mean, I wish I had a linebacker. I mean, no, shade at Devondre Campbell and Quay Walker, but I wish I had me a Fred Warner on my team.
I think a lot of teams wish they had a Fred Warner on the team.
Like he does what he does what you're supposed like.
And Trey Greenlaw. I mean, I'll take a Trey Greenlaw too.
You're supposed to feel some type of way when the opposing team scores on you. You see it in his face. Like he is like actually pissed off that the opposing team scored. Like other teams, like they may say they are, they may show it, but it's like him right there. It's like he plays every game. Like, hey, these MF is not supposed to score at all. Mm-hmm. They are not supposed to see this, especially at home. We are not supposed to give up points at the crib.
He was. They couldn't run it in between the tackles because of Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw. They could not run it. I mean, Drake Greenlaw was the reason why the Packers didn't get that conversion on 4th and 1.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Because he made it seem like he pushed Love back. Honestly, that was a bad spot. And then they fixed it when they went into shotgun. They were in 4th and 1 again, and they fixed it and they went into shotgun and did like a sneak kind of quarterback draw with Jordan Love and picked it up. I don't even think they wanted to give him that. I think that was like 3rd and short. That was 3rd and short. They didn't even want to give him that. That was a bad spot too. Until Matt LaFleur had the challenge, it was like, what the hell? Like, what are you guys looking at out here on the field? So, shout out to the 49ers. They made the plays when they needed to in crunch situation. That clutch drive by Brock Purdy. And you know what? Let me say the adjustment. I think in the second half for Kyle Shanahan was like, look, Brock Purdy, he's a little shaky. He's not having the best game in this weather. We're gonna give it to Christian McCaffrey, and that was the part adjustment right there, offensively.
I'm like, bro, like that's the part right there. Like everybody on Twitter, everybody on like watching the game, like we can all see this. Like we can all see it. Like I make fun of couch GMs, I make fun of couch coaches, but at some point in time, it reverts back to the basics, and a simple game stays a simple game. Weather sucks. QB's having a hard time gripping the ball. If you make a catch, it's kind of like the one like Ayuk made where it's on his fingertips, and he had to pull it off his shoestrings. You have one of, if not the best running back in the game. Give him the damn ball, and he was feasting. Ain't like he was getting 3 yards on the cloud of dust. He getting 5 yards a pop. Give him the damn ball.
And we'll swing into San Francisco, talk about them a little bit more tomorrow as we break down the NFC Championship game. Speaking of which, swinging into Sunday, Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Ford Field and falling just short by 8 points to the Detroit Lions as they win 31-23. Another entertaining back and forth game. Where Tampa Bay did have an opportunity to win this game, but Detroit just wanted it more. Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rashad White, 55 yards rushing. Mike Evans, Cade Otton, Rashad White all had receiving touchdowns from the arm of Baker Mayfield. On the other side, a pretty clean game by Jared Goff. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Craig Reynolds and Jahmyr Gibbs both had rushing touchdowns for the Lions. And the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Josh Reynolds both had receiving touchdowns as the Lions are going to the NFC Championship game. I believe it's their first championship game since the 50s or 68, something like that. Something wild.
Oh, they got a whole bunch of NFL championships. I'll tell you that.
In the Super Bowl era, they've never played in a championship game that I can remember, or I could be wrong, but...
Yeah, we were not alive last time the Lions.
For sure. For sure.
I think me and Izzy talked about it in the group chat. CJ Gardner-Johnson trash talked to Baker Mayfield. Like, hey, Izzy, what's crazy is like they shared that post that you shared to the group chat. They shared that on they made that same post on Instagram. And the comment said the same thing we said, bro. It was like it was off a tip pass. Like you didn't beat the receiver to the spot. You didn't diagnose the play. Like the ball.
1991, David.
I was born.
1991 was the last NFC Championship game. My bad, TJ.
Well, I wasn't born. My brother was. My brother was like literally just born. Like my brother's probably maybe no. Depending on the date in 91, my brother was getting ready to be born too.
It was probably in late January, early February.
But CJ Gardner Johnson. Keep going, because you know what, man?
That guy. All the posts on Instagram are like, bro, like you didn't like. Also, not only did you like it wasn't a clean pick. It hit his receiver in the hands. You just happen to be there. And you talking about some Baker needs to watch film, bro. He lit y'all up for 350. What are you talking about?
He definitely did.
He did throw that terrible pick to the Derek Barnes pick, but that was just kind of desperation mode at that point. But yeah, that was not a good read on that defensive. I think Derek Barnes baited him, thought he was going to rush, didn't drop back into coverage, didn't see him through the game time.
Pressure got there, and he had to rush that throw. And like obviously, he thought it was he had more of a bigger window than what he did, and that's what Derek Barnes did what he did. But
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about this game was deadlocked going in the fourth quarter. And we know that Tampa Bay is such a blitz-heavy team. And the blitz just really bit them in the ass on that Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. You know? Once Jahmyr Gibbs got past, into the second level, there was nobody there to have, to catch him because they blitzed on the other side. And Jahmyr Gibbs got to the left side, and he was up the field and scored a touchdown. It's something about this. In money time, your big-time players show up. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a big-time player. Amon-Ra St. Brown put the game out of, what you would say, put the game out of contention. It's almost like when the Cubs won the World Series, and I forget who that damn was it Miguel Montero or whatever hits that extra run to kind of put you up by 2, but it really that the other team might score another run and it actually puts you up by 1, so it kind of gives you that cushion. He gave him that cushion, that 14-point cushion, and it was kind of a foregone conclusion that Tampa was going to have to play obviously play from behind, but get into desperation mode late in the game. When you're down 2 touchdowns with under 8-9 minutes, you get that touchdown by Mike Evans to cut it to 7. You have to get a stop, and then you're giving yourself how many minutes did they have? 2 minutes to go down the length of the field. Not saying it's not impossible, but with the pass rush the Detroit Lions,
they had just under 2 minutes.
Just under 2 minutes, yeah. So it wasn't impossible for them to come back and score. And they gave themselves a chance, man. But at the end of the day, I think this has just been the Lions' destiny. I think just that defense just showed up in this game when it mattered the most. At certain times. Baker Mayfield did kill him. Mike Evans had himself a field day, but I think when the opportune times that this defense needed to show up, they showed up, and they've been doing that all season, right? They've been showing up in opportune times all season to kind of put games away, and they showed it again, man. And we all said it kind of to start the season that this was kind of the ceiling for the Detroit Lions NFC Championship, and so let's see if they break through that ceiling. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but.
I'm not going to say that. I ain't going to say their ceiling was the NFC Championship. I've maybe thought,
I thought it was.
I thought divisional.
I thought
divisional.
They've exceeded my expectations.
I'm saying divisional, depending on who the matchup is. You feel me? I always thought they were going to win the division. And breaking news: Joel Embiid scored 70 points. Good call.
I was right. I knew the way he was rolling, man. I'm telling you guys.
But yeah, this is a season that they'll never forget. This also kind of I'm already thinking about next year, anyway, especially for teams like that, for a team like the Lions, because it's all right, you did it this year, now do it again. Don't be a one-hit wonder.
And I work with a lot of Lions fans who are so fired up right now. It's pretty entertaining.
And rightly,
they should, for sure.
We got to understand, hell, even us as Bears fans, David, we've been to an NFC Championship twice, right? 2006, 2010. We've been to a Super Bowl, 2006. It's Lions fans who never they don't know that. They are more known for going 0-16 in the season than they are for winning. Right? This trumps all of that. So I'm happy for them. You got the one Lions fan, the old man. They keep showing every game. He's like 60-some years old. He's been a season ticket holder for God knows how long. And just imagine how he feels. Like, think about all the bad things he's seen. Like,
Without a doubt.
he saw Barry Sanders leave early. He saw, like, Barry probably had a lot left in the tank. Barry Sanders said, "Nope, I'm out."
Same thing with Calvin Johnson. So
Megatron leave early.
Not to mention, I mean, he's just like in the Super Bowl era. It's been since the '60s since you've seen them in the Super Bowl. Like you've never seen them in the Super Bowl era. They're one of the how many teams? 16 teams that haven't won a Super Bowl.
They haven't won a Super Bowl. They're one of like 4 teams that haven't never gone to the Super Bowl.
They have a whole bunch of NFL championship games before the Super Bowl era. They have a whole bunch of NFL championships, but they don't have a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era. So.
To the other piece of this equation, swinging into the AFC, and the two most feared words in all of Buffalo Bills history, wide right. As Josh Allen drives this team down the field, basically puts Tyler Bass in an opportunity to tie this game. He misses the kick. The defense is unable to stop Kansas City. They pick up the first down with Isaiah Pacheco, and that's all she wrote as Kansas City goes into Orchard Park, wins this game 27-24. Patrick Mahomes, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Isaiah Pacheco had a fantastic game, 6.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce had 2 touchdowns. And then Josh Allen had prayed well enough to win this game. Just came up a little bit short, 186 yards and a touchdown. He also ran for 2 more touchdowns in this game. And Khalil Shakir caught the lone receiving touchdown as the Buffalo Bills, kind of their crazy run here they've been on, falls short of the AFC Championship game. They fall again in the divisional, this time for the Kansas City Chiefs, 27-24.
Yeah, I don't get how anyone can watch that game and say Josh Allen can't get it done. Josh Allen is in this category of, Chris Canty said this on whatever sports show he's on first thing in the morning. He's all like, Josh Allen's in the territory of waking me up when Josh Allen gets the Bills to a Super Bowl. It's like, really? No, he's not. That's excuse my language, because like I know Izzy say like try to keep the foul language.
No, I don't care. I don't care. Don't look. Hey, I haven't cursed a couple times tonight.
That's bullshit. Like, to say Josh Allen is in the territory of wake me up when Josh Allen gets the Bills to a Super Bowl is bullshit. Like, that's 100% what it is. If Josh Allen doesn't call a fake punt on 4th and 5 with DeMar Hamlin, who's barely seen the field this season, Josh Allen doesn't throw 2 deep balls to one guy and then to the other one who's supposed to be his number 1 guy, and drops both of them, right? Josh Allen didn't kick that field goal that went wide right. Like, he didn't do that. Like this,
and he for sure didn't give up all, those touchdowns and have all those injuries.
I mean, this Chiefs team, they've punted like twice in the entire game. Like, Josh Allen doesn't play defense for this football team. Like,
yes, yeah, it's asinine how we're destroying him. But it's what's crazy is I saw Get Up this morning. Ryan Clark was getting on Josh Allen, how he's good, but he's not great in these situations and all this other good stuff. And I'm just like, man, how? Like, just like he put his field goal kicker in the position. I mean, like Ben Roethlisberger, like, wasn't the greatest all the time. Like, he had to lean on that damn defense that was all world most of his career. And it's like how can you say that? Like, Josh Allen like played well enough. I mean, he had how many total touchdowns did he have like through 2 playoff games? 7? He had 7 total touchdowns. I mean, this guy literally put the team on his back. I mean, anytime you're the leading rusher on your football team, that's a problem, right? Although they ran the football well enough to win the game, I just feel like Josh Allen shouldn't be the leading rusher, most weeks out of none, right? So, I just feel like this team, there's rumblings about Sean McDermott, and I hate to not talk about really what's the game, because we all saw the game. The game was a nip and tuck game. It was back and forth. We can say, "Oh, Sean McDermott, what the hell are you doing going for the fake punt?" But they didn't. The Kansas City, lucky as hell, didn't.
I mean, they had an advantage. I mean, they had 10 guys on the field for Kansas City.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It makes sense to try the fake punt. But I would have liked them to see if they're going to do that. I mean, have some design on the play. Like it wasn't like 4th and 1. I mean, it was like 4th and like 6 yards.
It was like
they're trying to bolster. What's his name? DeMar Hamlin's comeback player of the year.
Bro, like, it's 4th and 5. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind a fake punt call. If that's 4th and 2, yes. If it's
you got it. You pick it up.
1,
but, I mean, have some design on this play. I mean, if
it's 4th,
you got a comment here on YouTube,
it's not
guys.
David. It was the best special team.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Yeah,
he's not wrong.
Thanks, Ryder Albert. Appreciate you checking in outside hitting here at Prime Sports World.
Oof. Yeah, bro. I mean, look, it comes down to special teams, and I mean, you could say coaching, but goddamn, man, I mean, that throw he threw to Stephon Diggs went right through Stephon Diggs' hands. TJ, like how are we blaming Josh Allen for this type of play on the field? We shouldn't be blaming him for this type of play on the field when he's playing his best at this level. Now, I mean, can we blame the defense? Can we blame Sean McDermott? Yeah, I mean, did he call the necessary plays? Like, I want to say this though. Everybody's killing Josh Allen for not making that check down play as opposed to throwing it. Because, when they're in striking distance, when this guy, Tyler Bass, kicked the field goal, if Josh Allen probably would have made the check down play, he probably would have got a first down or Tyler Bass closer in field goal range. But at the same time, I think he's got enough arm strength to get that ball into the end zone to, I forget who was that? That might have been Khalil Shakir.
Shakir was the check down. Diggs was the one he tried to.
Diggs was the guy in the end zone. Okay.
But like he lost his game. He reverted back to old undisciplined Josh Allen. It's just like, how can you say, like, he got them in position to tie the game. He got them in position to, like, Josh Allen. He again, you couldn't have asked him to do much more than what he did. Like, he led the team in rushing. He scored. He accounted for 21 of the 24 points. He threw a touchdown. He threw a touchdown pass, and he ran for 2 more.
I also, just a small thing, I know there's been a lot of chatter about that fumble through the end zone play. A lot of people want to have that rule changed. I hope they do not change it.
I hope
that is some BS.
There are only so many rules in the NFL these days that absolutely benefit the defense. That's one of them. And I hope they keep the rule the same. Like, people are talking about, the rule should be changed. No, don't change it. It's like, yes, it's it's a cutthroat. It's super cutthroat. It's like the most cutthroat rule in the NFL. But there aren't that many rules that benefit the defense. Defense make a fantastic play, and you limit them to keep them out of the goal line. You deserve to keep that football. They got to keep that rule the same.
This is also the first. My fault, Dave. This is also the first time I'm hearing about. Oh, I don't like that rule. Like, if a team loses the ball,
every time a team gets totally screwed by this rule, there's this chatter. So remember Cleveland? They had that play. Was that 3 years ago now? They had that. They caught. Was it the Donovan Peoples-Jones? I think at the time was going into the end zone, and he gets tackled, and the ball goes out through the back of the end zone. If they score a touchdown on that drive and that possession, they would probably beat the Kansas City Chiefs 3 years ago.
I remember the Seattle one where the defender tapped it out of bounds, and that should have been a safety for the other team. And that didn't get called. I remember that.
I remember, like, recently Justin Jefferson had that play when they were trying to come back in that football game against, I don't even remember who the team was at this time.
You can go far. You can go as far as, like, this type of play being on the national set when Don Beebe chased down big Larry Allen.
Yeah.
Not Larry Allen, but Don Beebe chased down. Who the hell was the defensive tackle?
I know you're talking about.
It wasn't Larry Allen. It was Godly. It was somebody on that Dallas defensive line. And he knocked it out the end zone. I think people back then were talking about that.
So this rule's not going to change, but Kansas City.
I remember a Bears-Packers game. It was this is when what was his name? We got the guy from the CFL, David Tressman. When Tressman was coaching,
Yeah.
It was either Tressman or John Fox. One of those two dudes was coaching the team. We're playing the Packers. We at the crib. Benny Cunningham was the running back, and Benny Cunningham he dove for the end zone. He dove for the end zone, right? And a touchdown, one call. So they're challenging the fact that hey, we scored. Chicago's like, hey, we scored. And
I remember, they ended up, they challenged it.
Mike McCarthy was still a coach in Green Bay.
Yeah, the Bears ended up losing the football because of that challenge. I remember that play.
Yeah, and the ball, and Benny Cunningham actually lost the ball through the end zone, and because they challenged the play, it's like, hey, you actually lost the ball. It's Green Bay ball now. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Back to this game, but Kansas City, their offense was pretty well-oiled machine in this game. Only punted the ball twice. I mean, in the first half, they didn't punt the ball at all. They ran out of time at the end of the half, and that's the only time they didn't score.
Isaiah Pacheco, 6.5 yards a carry.
Yeah. I'm sick of I'm sick of Taylor Swift.
Me too.
Bro, every time the Chiefs do something, we don't need to see her. They don't have to. Hey, what's Taylor doing in the box? She's cheering like everything else.
Speaking of the box, speaking of the suite, there was just a lot going on in that suite. I mean, Jason Kelce with his shirt off.
Show him. I was writing some more.
You had Patrick Mahomes' wife and Taylor Swift over there jumping around. And I think you got Patrick Mahomes' dad looking back like, what?
Yeah, that's true. Congratulations to all four teams moving on into the championship game. Chiefs, Ravens, San Francisco 49ers, and Detroit Lions. Let's talk about game balls when it comes to the divisional round. TJ, who you giving your game ball to?
It's got to be Lamar, right? He was that first half. First half he was kind of, kept in check. They was getting home. They was blitzing. He couldn't really scramble the way he wanted to. And in that second half, it was, hey, flip the switch. Let's send these motherfuckers home, man.
I'm going to give my game ball to the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 8 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown, including the game-sealing touchdown. Kudos to the Sun God getting Detroit to the championship game.
And I was gonna pick Lamar to get my game ball, but you know what? There's a lot of game balls to give out. I'm actually gonna give my game ball to Christian McCaffrey, man. 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, had the game-winning touchdown at the end to knock my Packers out, and we pretty much couldn't stop him in the second half. Christian McCaffrey just showed why he's probably the best running back in football.
Hey, y'all saw what I said. Y'all saw what I said in the chat. Hey, if he was real talk, Christian McCaffrey, if he was black, he'd get that title. I'm so serious.
You might have it anyways, but let's. I also give it out to Trey Greenlaw. 2 picks in that game, including the game-sealing pick.
Trey Greenlaw was great too.
Hey, what's funny? Fred Warner was talking about that interception, right? He thinks he's gonna get the pick, right? Because he was right there, and then all of a sudden, here comes Drake.
Yeah, because Drake Greenlaw. Because Drake Greenlaw was on the other side on somebody else, and he broke off his guy just to pick that ball off. Like at some point, he's guarding somebody all the way on the other side of the field, and he's like, Jordan Love's all the way. He gonna do something stupid. I'm gonna break off my guy, and I'm gonna come to the middle of the field, and he just took that bitch away from Fred Warner. I don't want to go back. But I wish he would have just threw that damn ball. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Shit.
But yeah, this has been our 2023 divisional round recap. Thank you very much for checking us out here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Tomorrow we're going to be breaking down those conference championship games. You don't want to miss any of that content. I'm David Huffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
We sweat out.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. We'll see you guys here tomorrow. You guys all, hey, come on.
Here we go.
That ain't a good one. That ain't a good one. I need a good one.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys.